Is this accurate? Of course it's not, but let's see why. In order to refer to somebody as a convicted felon, two things must have happened. Number one, the person that we're referring to must have committed a crime that rises to the level of felony. And number two, that person must have been convicted. Now, we know that the crime that Trump was tried for is a felony under New York state laws. You can agree or disagree with how the charges were brought, but one thing is objectively sure: it's a felony in the state of New York. For the second part, what is a conviction? Well, that changes from state to state, and even in federal criminal law, each system gives a slightly different definition of the term conviction. So what we need to look at is what the laws of the state of New York, where the crime took place and the trial took place, say a conviction is. And we can find that definition for the state of New York in the criminal procedure law in chapter 1.20. And the definition of convict in that legal system in the state of New York requires that a plea of guilty be entered or a verdict of guilty be returned. The legal system in the state of New York does not require that somebody be sentenced in order to have a conviction. That definition changes from state to state. In the state of New York, the moment you have a verdict of guilty, you are convicted of that crime, and if that crime is a felony, you are a convicted felon. And before you give me the old, well, there's no conviction because he can still buy the firearm, remember that there's a difference between a conviction per se and a final conviction. A final conviction is a subset of a conviction per se, and law only prohibits the ownership or use of firearms by people that have a final conviction issued against them. And I hope this helps.